Hello everyone. The technology tool that I am sharing this week is going to be Apple Keynote. For my Earth Day STEM project, the students will be using Apple Keynote to create a digital advocacy poster about how they can help the Earth as one of the final projects in the unit plan. So I'm just going to take you through the app and show you what I'm expecting the students to do during this final project and how the students will be using this to create their advocacy poster. So the first thing is they're going to open up Keynote and press choose a theme. As you can see, I have a bunch of keynotes that I've done in the past on the bottom, but to start a new one, they're going to choose a theme. And here there are a ton of different templates and layouts that the students can choose, but just to keep it simple, we're going to go with the basic white here. And then once it opens up, you can see it already has some text in here. So the first thing that the students would do is to change their background. So they just would go up to this paintbrush on the top right corner, and then they would go here to background where it has the white. And my students, even at the kindergarten level, are familiar with doing this. We use Keynote throughout the entire year for different projects, so they would be very familiar with this and how to use it. So they would just go to color, and then they would choose their background that goes with their poster. We'll just do a little green for now. And then next they would change the text. So for my project, I'm having them, they can either use written text or they can draw the text in or use audio. So just for the purpose of this video, I'll just show you how they can do the written text. So they would just press the box here and let's just say save the Earth. Okay, would be their text that they're writing. And then here on the bottom, we'll just get rid of this. So if they wanted to get rid of something, they could just delete that, press it and delete. And then actually let's change to save the Earth. And then we'll do recycle. Okay. And then they can adjust this how they want, move it around in their poster. So I'll just put it right in the middle. And then the next thing they would do is they would add their images. So during the planning process, I did create a planning worksheet for the students to do before they actually engage in making the project. So during their planning process, they would be collecting images and pictures and other things that they would use for their posters. So in order to input those into our Keynote, they would go to the top here where it has the picture. And then on some of their iPads, the ones that I have in school, their iPads actually have a plus sign here, which is a little easier for them to understand and relate to. But they would go on the top, they would go to photo or video. So these are the saved images they have on their iPads already. They would have created a folder already, so Earth Day Project. And then these are the images that they would have within their Earth Day project, whatever they chose. So let's just choose the Earth. And they can size this however they want using these blue circles. So let's just put the Earth here. And then we can add another image, going back up to that picture, clip art, pressing photo. Let's do this one, recycle, reduce, reuse. So they would just add a bunch of different images that they've collected within their planning process and research process to put into their poster. And on top of collecting images from the internet, they can also input images, objects, and shapes into this as well. So they would just have to go back to the top. There is this circle and square shape. They would just press that. And here there are a ton of different objects and shapes that they could also add. So let's just see here. Here's some nature ones, some images here, some more symbols if they wanted to add in. They could do that as well. Let's just see if you type in earth in the search bar, they could put another earth in there if they want. So they are just customizing it to what their Earth Day message is. And then if they wanted to add a drawing instead of this written text here, they would just go right up to the picture again, go down to drawing. I always tell them it's where the scribble is. And then here on the bottom, there's a toolbar. They can draw in crayon and markers and pen, customize their colors right here, which they know how to do. They're pretty good at. So they'll just pick their tool and then they can write anything here on the Keynote. So save Earth, or they could put in some hearts or whatever they wanted to add into it as well. And then if they wanted to, they could also add some audio to this. If they really are not strong with their written language, they can definitely add some audio, which would also, we would go back up to that picture, and then they would go down to record audio, or they could even record a live video of themselves explaining their message. So we can just test that out. So record audio, they would go down to the bottom and press record. You can save the earth by recycling plastic, paper, and metal. Then they would record their message, stop it. You could preview it down here. You can save the earth by recycling plastic, paper, and metal. All right, and then once they're done with that, insert that in, and then it comes like a little microphone image that they can add into this, and then they can press it and you could hear it. You can save the earth by recycling plastic. So, and then this would be their poster, and once they are done, they would just export it and share it to me. So I could compile them into a big presentation, and then this would also go towards their Earth Day badging that they would get. This is one of their missions that they have to accomplish to earn that Earth Day badge to be part of the CAS Planet Protectors team that I have for their summative assessment and for the end of the project. So I just think this is Keynote. This is a really easy tool for early childhood learners to use. The skills and features in here are very transferable to Apple Pages, which is another feature and tool that the students have a choice of using because the format is the same, the tabs are the same. It's very simple and straightforward. So this is just a fun way and a very interactive way for the students to share their Earth Day message, to kind of show what they have learned throughout the unit, and to advocate for the earth and share it with their peers and teachers. So I hope you enjoyed, and maybe in one of your future projects, you can definitely use Apple Keynote. It is a very fun and interactive resource.